Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Outside of Life, where it's all about how you can turn your creative passion into a profession. My name is Eva, and my guests today are founders of Paint Events from Zurich, Switzerland. Their painting studio, called The Easel, is space for everyone: first-time painters and artists, mothers and daughters, couples, singles, men, women, old and young. To slow down and create something with your own hands. Or just say, relax colorfully. They started the idea after discovering plenty of the paint events in bars and restaurants abroad. As you probably already know, painting is a fantastic way to slow down in today's busy world. A few hours dedicated to a single activity can be surprisingly refreshing and calming. When you paint, there is only you and canvas and people around you. It's a fantastic way to lean back, relax, and spend some quality time with your friends or by yourself. In a couple of days, they are celebrating their first birthday of the business, so happy birthday, guys! And let's welcome Song and Anette, and let's get to the interview. So, welcome guys! I'm so happy to have you here. I would like to start with a bit of the background, and I would like to hear more about your biggest decisions, what you had to do in order to get where you are now. If you can tell me a bit more about that.
Decisions. Well, at least I'm not a person that is very good at making decisions. So I was happy that the situation helped me into that. And then also, I had Annette's support. So it was, the first one was not very big one. So that was in my yoga studio. Mm-hmm. They had events and just several kind of events to mindfulness. And one of the events they published was actually not event, that was the point. So paint and yoga. Okay. And I asked my yoga teacher, so what in particular do you mean with paint and yoga? And she said, well, nothing. It just sounds very nice. And then, maybe me and some friends, we have something to offer. And then I really liked the idea of paint events. And then we decided to rent a studio and to launch the first event and get some just cheap tables and chairs and the basic stuff for painting. So that was the first little investment, small decisions, because it's just one-time thing for the first time, and then also not like shopping the whole art supply world. So it was like a small one. Yeah, why not? So you can never have enough. And the second, much bigger one was our other co-founder. Actually, I live with this co-founder. We were on the way home, and then we passed by the bus stop, and next to the bus stop there's this Pilates studio. Okay. And on the Pilates studio, it's the Supermieten in German, that is to rent. Yeah. And then we called and asked about the price and when it's available. And then turned out that all the factors were okay for us.
So everything fell into place.
Exactly. So we said, okay, well, it was just God's decision. It was, of course, a bit of money, but not as much as we would have expected. And so we said, okay.
It made it possible.
Yes, exactly. So we said, let's just go for it. It's so perfect. It's just like 2 minutes walk from 2/3 of the co-founder's home.
And so it's convenient as well.
Yes, and it's small. It's a nice thing to start with. So so just a lot of factors were okay. And then I think it was again the situation, the maybe destiny that pushed us a little bit into the second, real big decision, and also maybe turning point.
Okay, and then like talking about these turning points, decisions. So you mentioned your partner as well. Were there other people which influenced you along this way, kind of like a mentor or other really influential people in your life that kind of bring you to this kind of joy of creation again?
So in this case, I would say we kind of helped us together, helped each other to inspire us. because Song were painting and I like to paint and to draw, and it started like with a paint event in the States. So for us it was more like we found a hobby that we liked very much and we felt so comfortable with it, and we started to do this at home. And I think it was more like, so we were working together, we had fun together, we wanted to share this, and we were like helping each other and like a guidance for each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
And maybe
really nice.
even, sorry,
No, it's
maybe
fine.
even not a, yes, mentor life. So I don't know, just life situations that, I don't know. I personally, I was in a phase that I just wanted to, I was a bit pissed from my studies and I wanted to do the things I really
Embrace yourself.
like, and I want to discover things and just go for stuff or activities I love. And I don't know, also in the beginning was not that serious, or so I didn't think of searching for a certain mentors. Maybe at some point I tried to talk to my dad because he runs a business. But he really didn't, well, he's in general a very supportive man, but he didn't really get the idea of paint events. So I think I would follow Annette's statement that we inspired us each other, and also with some other friends that we had social paint
and
together.
Other artists who come to us, and it's kind of like really an inspiration to see other paintings too, like what could be used for paint events too, if other people want to join, like for hosting an event and everything.
Okay. But it also sounds like, as you mentioned, also your father and the friends, you know, when you see someone like successful or doing some business, then it can inspire in some way. So it doesn't have to be exactly what you're doing right now, but it's something you see as a potential in the future. Oh, cool.
Yeah, maybe just one little thing to add. Probably if you can call it a mentor, we won't say that the paint events was our idea. We saw it, like we said before, that we saw it in the States, in Canada, and we really adored the concept of social painting sessions. And then we just wanted to bring it to Switzerland, where we live. And
So
that's,
you
I
make
think
it
this,
your own.
yeah, so maybe the other paint session, so let's call paint night or art night or pop-up painting, all these concepts around the world that already did that. There in the US, it's very known concept. So we just went and look and see, they doing this and get inspired from them, and then like collecting inspirations for what we're doing here. Yes.
I mean, it's really cool concept because you can just go there after work or in your free time, and it's just amazing. And then talking about these experiences, can you share the best advice you ever received and the worst advice?
Oh.
We were thinking about this question, and did we ever get advices?
I got one advice. But I would say it was a good advice, but we couldn't implement it now. It was because that we set frames, for example, for the paintings. But of course, you can't implement every advice at this time when you get it, because you have lots of people who give you like awesome tips, and it's like. And you have to have a look what you can do now, because we're still like startup, really small. We do it step by step because we're a small team. So, but we didn't have a bad advice. No.
I think maybe a good one. Sorry.
I was just thinking, like, as an inspiration, like for me, I think what was the worst advice I ever received was that you cannot live from art. You have to be something else. You have to be a doctor, or you have to be whatever. So basically, I was never encouraged to do anything with art because it doesn't make sense in my community when I was growing up.
I know this too. My mother told me I shouldn't be a designer. And now I'm a biotechnologist. But I think art is more like than just studying it. And of course, it's a great study if you study it and you really have like all the knowledge you can use. And but for me, it's more like I have fun with it. I enjoy painting. It's like a little bit of meditation for me, because you kind of focus on your painting and afterwards you feel so much better.
Yeah.
So I think it's more for the feelings and not the art itself is not for the money.
But
The money, but we have of course, like in a small company, and this is more, I think, like the events are more for the socializing and maybe to have like our company.
Yeah, because I read last time as well, like we have to make money in order to make more art, which makes sense because usually people don't make art to make money, so it can be kind of turned around as well in this sense.
Yeah, so in this case, it's also the other way around. Both of us studied something different before we can embrace that we want to do something else and go back to the art part.
And you mentioned then the events, and you do events quite often now. And I would like to know as well, how would you describe your brand? Like, what is the mission and idea which runs through all the events you communicate to your customers?
Okay, so our brand Paint Events. Some people would think it's a curse, but it's not. For us, it's just a paint event, a socializing event. So you come with your friends, you get everything what you need for supplies, and even maybe some ideas, because if you never have painted before, you have like the painting what we're going to show. And in this case, it's more like enjoy your time, enjoy your free time.
And you get drinks, not just water.
Yeah, so you kind of enjoy the time. So it's the relaxation compared to courses, right? So so that's the idea. Okay, that sounds really, that's like amazing fun. It should be everywhere.
We're trying to.
That's good. I'm looking forward to expansion. And if you would advise someone who is starting and they would like to be somewhere where you are, like with the skills or with the business, where should they start? Like, can you recommend some tools or some medium or even like an event they should start with?
Okay, for me, I would say you need if you're not brave enough for yourself, you need somebody who's brave and helps you. For example, for me, it was Song. She had the idea in the first place. I have a place where we can do it. And this was like the start. And so if somebody is starting something, and sometimes you need to ask for help maybe, because it's not so easy to do something completely alone. If you have a small team, you can share the work, and you still can kind of define the time when you have to work, and like so you can still enjoy your free time.
And maybe also to some point that, of course, you can talk to people who not the same startup, but another startup who also went to insecurity phases. And also, I think from a psychology point of view, then maybe don't talk to people that you can already know that or expect. Yes, that they are negative, or that they think your idea is too crazy or too idealistic or whatsoever. Even if it's your partner or your parents, let's say they are very important in your life, and then you share a lot or even everything with them. But I think when you're insecure, but when you really have this really, really big dream, and in the beginning you're insecure, but at the same time you believe in it, look for people to talk about that you think that they could understand, that they have the openness to listen to you or even say some supportive words, and that might help you more. And I mean, the worst thing that can happen that after a year you realize, it was not the thing to do, but I tried, and then you can still stop. And then also in our case, it's not of course, money is an issue. It was not a business that need like $100,000 of investment in the beginning. So that changes, of course, a lot. But when you need that still, just if you really want the inspiration and the courage, and even for people with a very high self-confidence, I think I would recommend them to talk to people that are in the same phase, or say the same courageous personality than the. Yes.
That's a really good advice, because sometimes you can be discouraged by people just by saying something, and then you're like, oh, maybe my idea is actually not good. And like this, you would never try. So, yeah, that's really good idea, and I really agree with that. So, wow, yeah, I think everyone should try that. And when you are working also on a different project, or you mentioned that when you just started, right? So how do you design your day? Like, do you have a daily habits you contributes to your success?
You want to start?
Kind of. Yeah. So my daily habit is filled with work. So first, I have still 100% job, and and I give my best what I can do there, of course. And in the afternoon, when I'm done there, I kind of start in the evening to find new paintings and find new projects or collaborations too. And so
yeah, wow,
it's kind of like a time management in this case, but it's more in the evening. It's more like fun, so it doesn't feel like work.
And do you do the time management somehow with a digital tool, or do you just have a like physical notebook, or how do you organize yourself the best?
So I have a calendar, like 2 calendars, to be honest. So
like a physical one?
No, digital. Everything digital. Yeah. So because this way I can carry it around with me and every time check if it's possible.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you can book yourself for different things and then see what is when. So okay.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah, I try to work with like physical calendars and agendas and notes, like put down notes. No, not my
that
thing.
doesn't work.
But I think it's really pretty if you have a notebook that you always take with you. But no, for me, it's everything either on the desktop or on my computer or iCalendar. I have a Mac, and so yes. And then sometimes I have a alarm like a day before.
And kind of reminders. I do the same.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, now, but maybe some put down note for the day but then I
like
do
a
it
to-do list.
To-do list for a day or two.
For example.
And it's the best feeling to grad something from it. Yeah.
Oh my god, I do the same. I also have the like boxes and I do the things like, oh, I did something today.
Yeah.
Just for this feeling, check.
Yeah, exactly.
The boxes tick.
That's so funny. I think a lot of people actually have this.
Yeah.
And it's a productivity tip. Yeah. So because if you really want, you make a plan. It shouldn't be too much. And if you have lots of points you want to do, you have to look if it's still possible on this day and make a list. And then you're happy what you achieved at this day.
Yeah, I like to be organized. But let's talk about inspiration. Like, what is the weirdest thing you are inspired by? Or other people think that's weird?
I don't know. I think there is not really something weird in for inspiration, because I think there are artists who painted, for example, fried eggs. Yeah. And these paintings look amazing, and so at the end maybe somebody at the beginning would say, why do you paint a fried egg? But if it looks so great, at the end it's not weird anymore. So I think sometimes an idea is weird before you put it on the canvas, for example. As soon as it's on the canvas, it looks so logic that you had this idea.
So it might be food.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
I like weird animals. Like you can find like deep ocean animals, like this weird
Oh,
fish or
yeah.
something, and
without eyes
yes,
glowing in the night.
exactly, something really weird,
Yeah.
and then you can implement it. Oh, cool, cool. I think that sounds always fun.
I thought about it for quite a while, but I wish I could tell you something like this special cloud or this weird moment, whatever, with I don't know, a homeless, but no. And it's maybe not weird, but rather abstract. So in some yoga classes, I was supposed to focus on my body, on my breath, on everything but the thing I was thinking about. So I was thinking about painting subjects or odd paintings I could merge different
Yeah.
colors, variations, and then in the yoga break, I just took my yoga notebook and just painted a sketch or I draw a sketch of my imaginations. But somehow yoga inspired me, but the painting was not about yoga. It was my distraction to painting, and that's something I think that inspires me a lot. That's
Yeah.
also
Okay.
how I found to yoga. I was supposed to write my master thesis. Then I was thinking about yoga. And then I was supposed
So
to
zen.
focus in this teacher training. Then I'm distracted to painting. So it's always something that distracts me, that inspires me
Yeah, yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, yeah. But because we always need to find for inspiration if we feel stuck or unmotivated, right? And so, what do you do when you are unmotivated? Is it yoga, for example, as you say, or is it something else which
Yeah,
motivates
so for
you?
me, yes.
Sleeping.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sleeping, cook, eat, sleep again,
Yeah.
and then
Sports. I think sports is like an essential thing for me too. Like, especially what I really love is like when you do something where you don't have to think about anything. Like if you have a course or like you go for a run or swim,
Yeah, yeah.
and you just on your way or you do what the instructor is showing you, and afterwards you feel so much more relaxed because you had to do anything just sports. So
Yeah, yeah.
afterwards is always better.
Yes.
take a cold shower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I hate those.
Yes. I know in
No,
the beginning.
jump in the lake. Jump in the lake.
Yeah.
It's better.
Maybe after sauna I can do that, but like just jump in the
And
lake.
then when it's even harder, you can do that.
But maybe then I can kind of manage that. But yeah, so then the other thing, what I wanted to ask you was also how do you find new projects or new customers? How do you kind of get yourself noticed? Do you do more stuff online or do you go to different events or to talk to your network? Like what is your main bringing of paid income?
So the main income is at the moment just our regular painting events, these guided paintings. And I think the most money we spend at the moment is for Facebook advertisement, just boost events and all these things that Facebook suggests you. And also, of course, we check the results and then we adapt a little bit our advertisement, our target also
Okay.
pool. So it's not just randomly boost. So we try to observe a little bit and learn more about Facebook and also try to start with Instagram. Still not very familiar with it, but learning step by step. Also, there is this boost function. And
And of course, we try to find always new collaborations in person,
yes,
like to
definitely.
find people to network. And maybe if you sometimes you just need to meet one other artist, and then you kind of learn a new word through the other person, and
or you can create new
it's
network.
like and it's a give and take. So both have a learning different people and moments through the others, like.
Yeah, exactly. Like I also target people who are or like organizations which are already known. They have their clients and customers, and So that was actually for the first the kickoff event last October in this yoga studio named Planet Yoga. So we there were 8 participants, and 4 of them were our friends. So they actually also contributed a lot. So how do you say it in English? Mouth by mouth spreading something.
Oh, like how do you say
word spreading?
Word of mouth. Yeah.
Exactly. This. And the other 4, so one we won through Facebook advertisement, and the other 3, so almost a half of the first participant quote was from Planet Yoga themselves. They saw the flyer and then they said, oh, cool. And they were already going to Planet Yoga for quite a long time. And yes, so people who go, for example, to a certain restaurant, which is also very active on social media, then we target them. So would you be open for a collaboration? So then you can also share our event, and we pay you a certain kind of rent, so we guarantee you some customers. So we try to make it a win-win situation, but also, of course, we think about which attractive locations for us, and then we try to find collaboration.
Yeah, yes. So you basically find the collaborations based on the location and the experience, which would fit your branding.
Exactly. And the publicity there, audience or customers or something.
Yeah, kind of, which would fit all together as well. And
exactly, the vibe also, yes.
Yeah. So the current network as well. And when you were going through all of these and organizing, what was your worst moment?
Oh, the worst moment.
Luckily, we had lots of happy moments. I think one of a more surprising instead of a worst moment is
kind of when you fell down and it's like, oh damn it, really, this is happening to me.
Maybe if the tickets weren't sold directly, like in this moment, oh no, isn't this painting so bad? Really? It's like, is it possible? It can't be possible that they don't like this one. And so I think we haven't noticed any rule that when the people are coming more, like, I think it depends to the weather, to the day, to the painting too, probably, and maybe to the gender a little bit, because mostly women are joining us for the moment.
So that's your kind of, not the target group, but right now that's the majority of the customers.
Yes, yeah. So I think so. Luckily, we never had a worse moment. It's more like a scary moment.
But do you think then the females are more attracted to this kind of events, or you are specifically targeting women?
No, not specifically.
No, I think they're just more open to this because many men don't know that they could maybe like painting. I think it's still like misthinking, like, because lots of people think, the women can go paint and we do something really manly,
or like chopping wood, or
especially in Zurich because you have here so much wood
and the mountain bike over it.
But we kind of notice that there are more and more men kind of enjoy painting, and they also join us, and they still have fun. They meet people. They meet even people from their countries, for example, if they are from another country, and it's like a fun, also fun for them. So I think it's more like it has to start, and maybe someday they will join us too.
I think we even especially try to target men, not in a very extreme way, but
with some paintings.
With some paintings. So we ask our friends, hey, you're a man, would you paint this? Something like this. Or once we had this event that was a bit more, that was a cooperation with a restaurant. So that we had flatbread and beer. So on Instagram, we targeted beer lovers, craft beer, and then we were hoping for more response of masculine world.
But maybe if we do it next time, the collaboration with this with Brain, then it will work. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that might be true. And then this leads me to like, what would you wish to know before you started?
Yeah, I think there's because we still just had like really positive feedback and experiences, and so like we never had like a moment where we thought, okay, if I would have known this, I wouldn't have done this. It's more like sometimes you kind of notice that you'll have less time to make just any paintings for yourself now. It's more like you have a look, oh, this is could be for paint events, so let's try this the next time so we can host it, or so it's more like now we really have a look for paint events, paintings, and try a lot, and try to widen our experiences to offer even more. And so
you have the business in back of your head like all the time.
Yes, kind of a little bit. It's more like or you have the business in your back while deciding what you're going to paint. As soon as you paint, it's more like fun again.
Yes, of course. But influenced by the spirit of this business. But I think, maybe if we do an interview in the future, ask us this in 2 years again. In a way, I feel that we're too young as a startup to. Also, we are very lucky. Maybe there was not a moment that I thought, oh my God, I wish I had known that before, then I would have never started that in Zurich or whatsoever.
But maybe you're also like positive, minded, then you are always thinking of the positive outcome, so you don't really kind of hold grudges like, oh my God, this is horrible. So maybe it's actually that's a good approach as well.
Yeah, and hopefully we keep this for the next years too.
That's really good.
And also maybe not directly to the question, but you reminded me of that maybe there was not such a clear point where it started, because in the beginning that was just very exciting, and we're organizing our own painting event with random people, not just us among friends. And then after a while, months and months, it became more and more serious, and then I think only this year the idea of okay now she thinks, or we all think that we could do a real business out of it. And so and then if you take this point, then we are really, really young. We are a couple of months old, like almost like an embryo. And then so since maybe at least for me there's not such a clear point, so okay, let's do this, then, or maybe every day is kind of let's do this, then or we're just lucky and we haven't had any really tough moments yet.
We're lucky.
Hopefully that will continue, obviously.
Hopefully.
In German, touch the wood.
Don't jinx it.
No, it's like wooden head, And do you have a book or a documentary which you would recommend?
I think this was kind of like the hardest question for when you to prepare, like because
she knows too much. She knows way too much.
Hard to choose. Okay.
I watched too much, or I read too much, and I think it's difficult to point something out right now. But there's like, if I would say it now, one movie, what I would recommend, it's not really regarding art. Mm-hmm. It's maybe, for example, the movie The Life of Walter Mitty.
Okay, I haven't watched that yet.
Because this movie is more about, and it kind of explains our situation, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but
no spoiler. It's okay.
okay. This movie is consists of the development of a man who's dreaming, and he doesn't notice what's going on around him. He doesn't.
Okay.
He's not really noticing everything around him. So, and as soon as he stops dreaming, or he starts doing something like what he first imagined, and as soon as he starts it, he doesn't have to dream it anymore, and he's kind of really living it. And in this kind of like movie, it starts like that you surrounded by awesome landscapes, and so you have lots of wonderful like movie scenes, so like just nice to watch too. And so I think
it's inspirational dream life kind of thing.
It's like don't just dream, try it, do it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the kind of the quotes, so maybe that would be the quote you would put on your notebook or something, what you would like.
No, our slogan. No. We will put our slogan on it.
Relax
colorfully.
Oh, good. Relax colorfully. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. It's like live your life in color, so it's like relax colorfully. Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
And what about your book, Song?
I don't read, but I have a book, surprisingly. That is from a psychiatrist from Argentina. His name is Jorge Bucay. And he has several books, but the book I like the most is the short stories or stories I want to tell. In German, it's Komm, ich erzähl dir eine Geschichte. And every little story is a metaphor for some bigger morals in life. I don't know, read it. It's
so you
it's
can
not
learn
very long.
From the stories.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the other thing, also not very long, a clip is TED Talk, The Paradox of Choices.
Okay.
And I think that's, I don't know, I watched a lot of TED Talks, but this one just really sticked somehow in my mind. It influences me once in a while. And you also have to watch it, but I also don't want to take anything away. But I think it just shows us how sometimes choices is not just, of course, it's a luxury from today's, from the also first world, but it can also make it quite hard. And sometimes you're supposed to feel happy because you have everything, but then then you're overwhelmed with that, and then you're overwhelmed with yourself. So, okay, I have everything. I have so many choices. And then, and what would other people think about me if I'm not happy or if I screw it up? Because there are a lot of choices means a lot of opportunity and also a lot of surface for others to attack you, or also that you can screw up things. So it's both, and I think it's short, I think 20 or 15 or 20 minutes of clip that made these words even more obvious or clear for this subject. Really can recommend that one.
So kind of the people can think about how to reflect about their emotions and to understand them better. Because I think a lot of people might have this problem, but then they feel like they shouldn't share it with people because it's not the right thing to do. So it's good to understand if other people have this problem too. So
it's a problem of today. Of course, if you have troubles fulfilling your basic needs, like if you're hungry, if you can't breathe, if you're not healthy, then that's obviously not an issue. But we're not talking about these needs. We're talking about some higher needs when the basic needs are satisfied, and then I think it's very relevant. Not only the basic needs are relevant, especially today where you have so many options. So that's why I picked that. Video.
I think then a lot of people should watch this then. And I would like to end with the questions about the future. And so I would like to know, if you can do anything in the world, what would you be doing in 5 years? Like, you cannot
Do we have
fail.
the same?
I like one part was the same, I think, traveling around the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
Of,
yes.
of course, I think lots of people wish to see more of the world, get more inspiration, see different cultures. I think this is like just like an urge you can you kind of have sometimes, and maybe it's possible to fulfill it in 5 years. I'm not sure.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. But I think, to be honest, I'm really open. I don't have like the exact plan what I want to have in 5 years. I just know I'm going to be happy.
That's good. And that's
Yeah.
a good decision.
And yes, I agree. And also, before going around the world and traveling and collecting more experiences and inspiration for more paintings or some other artworks, and it would be really, really nice to open an even larger painting studio and cafe, and
And to
also
expand.
to expand, and on the
Yeah.
top a yoga studio, like urban escape, and also of course have paint events in more cities, maybe also the closer German parts in Austria, who knows, but yeah, so to
Yeah. So
grow
with
and
yoga and plants and all like
Especially the
zen.
ground part, yeah.
mindfulness, everything you can do to treat your mindfulness, and
And or to describe it differently, everything you kind of need to enjoy your life too. So especially when you work a lot, you need a place maybe where you can rest. If it's not at home, you can do it at paint events.
Oh, that's actually great to provide to some individuals if they don't have really relaxing time, maybe with people they are living with or the living situation. I think that's really good help. And so, what would you like to be remembered in 100 years, let's say? So, what would be your ultimate life goal or art career goal?
So if it's really an art career goal, I think that what would be really great, but I think it's not going to happen, is to paint a painting that's so great that they will see it in 100 years and say, "Oh, that's great." What's your name again? But but she's great. And but to be honest, I don't think it will be possible just in this way because all my paintings are being copied.
Dali said, if you're not willing to copy, then you produce nothing.
Yeah.
So you should keep copying.
Yes. Or like steal like an artist, right? That's another kind of quote that they're saying, because you shouldn't just copy one person or see like inspiration from the whole world and then steal like an artist, and then you create something new basically, because you are always influenced by something else.
Yeah. And at the end, everyone is copying something, but it's adding their own note to it.
Yeah.
And to me, well, I don't know if I'd like to be remembered in 100 years. I think I never do it. Of course, you're the first person that asked me this question. This is not a question that people ask people so often. But I think for me, it's that art, whatever it is to a person, gives you a piece of satisfaction in some way, on some level. And I'm one of the person that contributed to make this process more accessible to people. And if someone remembers, this Chinese person there, Asian face, created some events, then that would be nice.
Or what would be also really great would be that we have our studio, and we some person would walk in and kind of figure out that he's or she is the greatest artist in the world. And
what, us?
No, the person who walks in. And at the end, no, this person will be probably famous, but they in his biography would stand he started with paint events by Song Anette, and so he discovered his talent there, and it would be just a small part, but it would be a good part, so, because it's a part of like a small of a bigger thing.
Yeah, so kind of like be the fire starter for the artistic passion and career.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I think that's really inspirational. Oh wow, that's so exciting. Awesome. So cool to have you here. I am really happy that you guys joined us here, and thank you so much.
Thank you
It was
too.
a great pleasure for us. Very honored for the interview. It was fun.
Yeah.
And also, I think we learned a bit about ourselves.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
Oh, super cool. Good. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know in comments. Also, please subscribe to my channel for more videos, because I post new interview every single workday. You can also find the resources mentioned in this episode at artsideoflife.com. Just type a guest name in the search bar. There is also a little freebie waiting for you, so go check it out. If you want to listen to the interviews on the go, make sure to check out the podcast episodes at artsideoflife.com/podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and don't forget to inspire each other. I will see you guys in the next episode.